Senior xenobiologist VIX 427 curled her upper appendages in disgust as she examined the human escape pod floating in the debris field. Her research vessel, the Stellar Intellect, had been tracking interesting energy signatures when they stumbled upon this primitive artifact. "Director Zinn, you must see this," she called through the ship's neural network. "These humans actually rely on physical survival tools instead of quantum replication technology." The ship's research director materialized beside her viewing station, his crystalline form shimmering with barely contained amusement. The screen displayed the pod's contents: matches, a basic medical kit, dehydrated food, water purification tablets, and various other simple tools. How do they expect to survive with such basic equipment? Director Zinn's voice resonated with mockery. "Our youngest hatchlings have more advanced toys." "That's not even the most amusing part," Vix continued, highlighting specific items. "They include instruction manuals, written on actual physical material, as if anyone requiring rescue would waste precious time reading." The bridge crew gathered around, their collective laughter creating harmonic resonances throughout the ship's hull. Chief Engineer Krell 9, whose neural augments allowed him to design entire cities in seconds, seemed particularly entertained. "Perhaps we should conduct an experiment," Director Zinn suddenly proposed, his crystalline structure pulsing with intellectual excitement. "The Galactic Science Council has been pushing for more detailed studies of emerging species." Vix's sensory nodes tingled with interest. "What kind of experiment?" "A controlled survival test. We'll recruit some humans through our diplomatic channels. Surely they'll jump at the chance to prove themselves to an advanced civilization. We'll pit them against our own crew members in a survival scenario." "But sir," Chief Engineer Krall 9 interjected, "wouldn't our superior technology make it an unfair comparison?" Director Zinn's form sparkled with mischief. "That's the brilliant part. We'll create a quantum dampening field. No advanced technology will function within the test zone. Both teams will have to rely on primitive survival methods." The crew exchanged amused glances through their neural network. The idea of their highly evolved species competing with humans using basic tools seemed absurdly entertaining. "I'll begin the preparations immediately," Vix declared, already drafting the research parameters. "We should document everything for the Galactic Archives. This will make an excellent case study in the limitations of primitive species." As the crew dispersed to their stations, none of them noticed the small alert flashing on a secondary monitor. It indicated that their initial scan of the human escape pod had missed something crucial: a long history of survival against impossible odds encoded in the very design of those simple tools. The Stellar Intellect adjusted its course toward Earth's solar system, its crew blissfully unaware that they were about to learn a profound lesson about the difference between technological advancement and true survival instinct. Their carefully planned experiment would soon challenge everything they thought they knew about the nature of intelligence and adaptation. Director Zinn's final log entry that day simply read, "Initiating Project Primitive, a study in the limitations of basic survival techniques. Expected duration, minimal. Expected outcome, confirmation of advanced species superiority." He would later come to regret the smugness evident in those words. The human volunteers arrived on the Stellar Intellect with nothing but their basic survival kits, much to the continued amusement of the alien crew. Sarah Cooper, a wilderness survival instructor, carried herself with quiet confidence that puzzled Director Zinn. Her companions, ex-military ranger Marcus Chen and civilian emergency responder Dr. Rachel Adams, seemed equally unperturbed by the advanced technology surrounding them. "You understand the parameters." Director Zinn's crystalline form pulsed as he addressed them. 7 Earth days on the testing planet. No advanced technology. First team to reach the extraction point wins. "Crystal clear," Sarah replied, suppressing a smile at her unintended pun. "Though I'm curious why you chose Kepler 186f for the test site." VIX 427's sensory nodes flickered in surprise. "You know of it. We've studied its atmospheric compositions and temperature variations. Interesting choice for a survival challenge. Sarah methodically checked her kit's contents while speaking. The acid rain will be problematic. The alien crew exchanged uneasy glances through their neural network. They hadn't expected the humans to be so well informed about their chosen test site. Meanwhile, the alien team prepared for deployment. Lead survivor Krell9 had specially modified their survival gear, certain that even without quantum technology, their superior intellect would prevail. His teammates, environmental specialist Zera3 and security officer Trent12, shared his confidence. Remember, Director Zinn addressed his crew privately through the neural link. This exercise will prove definitively that advanced evolution trumps primitive survival techniques. The humans' confidence is merely ignorance of their own limitations. The deployment pods descended through Kepler 186f's turbulent atmosphere. As they landed in separate locations, both teams emerged into a landscape that would challenge every assumption about survival and adaptation. The alien team immediately began analyzing their surroundings with their superior senses, cataloging atmospheric compositions and geological formations. Yet within hours, they faced their first crisis. Without their quantum technology, they struggled to convert their vast knowledge into practical actions. These chemical reaction sticks are defective, Krell9 complained, snapping another match in frustration. The friction coefficient should produce ignition, yet they keep breaking. Across the valley, the humans had already established a base camp. Sarah demonstrated proper match-striking technique to her teammates, while Marcus set up a perimeter of early warning systems using nothing but twine and local materials. Movement in the southeast quadrant, Rachel reported, adjusting her field glasses. Looks like our alien friends are having trouble with basic fire starting. Should we help them? Marcus asked, testing the tension on a snare trap. Sarah considered the question while purifying water using a simple solar still made from their emergency blankets. Let's wait. Sometimes the best lessons come from struggling through challenges yourself. As night fell on Kepler 186f, two very different camps told two very different stories. The humans huddled around a carefully maintained fire, their shelters secure, water purified, and basic traps set for local wildlife. The alien team sat in darkness, their superior minds struggling to comprehend how their advanced knowledge had failed to translate into basic survival skills. Director Zinn watched through the monitoring drones, his crystalline form clouding with concern. This was not proceeding according to his expectations, and as the planet's notorious acid storms gathered on the horizon, he began to wonder if perhaps they had underestimated more than just human survival skills. They had underestimated the power of practical wisdom over pure knowledge. The real test was just beginning. The acid storm hit during the second night. The alien team's superior knowledge of atmospheric chemistry did nothing to protect them from the searing rain. Krell9 watched in horror as droplets ate through their equipment, his analytical mind struggling to formulate a practical solution. Our atmospheric analysis is perfect, Zera3 shouted over the howling wind, but we can't manipulate the environment without our quantum fields. Across the valley, the humans had already adapted. Sarah's team had created an improvised shelter using their thermal blankets and local vegetation, treating the plants with crushed minerals they'd found to neutralize the acid. The construction looked primitive, but it worked. Basic chemistry, Rachel explained while reinforcing their shelter. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution. The aliens' pride crumbled further when their attempt to hunt local wildlife failed spectacularly. Despite their advanced understanding of xenobiology, they couldn't match Marcus's simple snare traps and tracking skills. Impossible, Trent12 muttered, watching through protective covers as another potential prey animal avoided their elaborate trap. We designed this based on perfect biomechanical calculations. Director Zinn observed through the monitoring drones with growing unease. The humans weren't just surviving. They were thriving. They'd established a sustainable camp, secured food sources, and even mapped safe travel routes through the dangerous terrain. Meanwhile, his elite team struggled with basic tasks. The turning point came when Zera 3 suffered an injury from a local predator. Without their medical technology, the alien team panicked. Their vast knowledge of xenobiology offered no practical help for immediate wound treatment. Sarah's team spotted the distress signals. Despite the competition, they didn't hesitate. Rachel grabbed her first aid kit and headed toward the alien camp, demonstrating that human compassion matched their practical skills. The bleeding needs to stop before infection sets in, Rachel explained calmly, using basic pressure bandages and antiseptic. Sometimes old-school medicine works better than quantum healing. The alien team watched in silence as their competitor saved their teammate using nothing but primitive medical supplies. Director Zen's monitoring log that evening contained a single line: "Perhaps we have conflated technological advancement with true survival capability." The humans' simple tools, combined with their practical knowledge and adaptability, consistently proved more reliable than the aliens' theoretical expertise. Each passing day forced the advanced species to confront an uncomfortable truth: they had mistaken complexity for superiority. As the fourth day dawned, the alien team faced a critical decision. Their pride suggested continuing alone, but survival instinct, something they were slowly rediscovering, pointed toward a different path. They needed help, and the only available teachers were the very beings they had dismissed as primitive. The universe, it seemed, had a peculiar sense of humor, and a valuable lesson about the true nature of advancement was about to be learned. The fifth day brought the planet's infamous thermal cycle, temperatures swinging from freezing to boiling within hours. The alien team watched in amazement as the humans adapted their camp with remarkable efficiency. "Your shelter design." Krell 9 finally approached Sarah's team, his crystalline form dimmed with humility. "It's maintaining a stable internal temperature using only passive cooling and heating principles." Sarah nodded while adjusting the layered thermal blankets. "Nature usually provides everything you need. You just have to work with it instead of trying to control it." The aliens' desperate situation led to an unprecedented collaboration. Marcus taught them basic tracking and trapping techniques, while Rachel showed them how to identify safe water sources using simple observation methods. The humans' practical knowledge, combined with the aliens' theoretical understanding, created surprisingly effective solutions. Director Zen's observation logs grew increasingly contemplative. Day 5. Witnessing remarkable synthesis of theoretical and practical knowledge. Human adaptability exceeds all previous assumptions. Their primitive tools demonstrate elegant efficiency in their simplicity. The alien team learned that survival wasn't about having the most advanced technology. It was about understanding and adapting to your environment with whatever tools you had available. Their human teachers showed them how to read weather patterns without sensors, how to find food without scanners, and how to navigate without quantum positioning. But how do you know which direction is safe without topographical analysis? Zera 3 asked during a navigation lesson. Marcus pointed to subtle signs in the landscape. The local vegetation grows differently on toxic ground. The wildlife creates patterns. Everything tells a story if you know how to read it. The transformation in the alien team was profound. Their initial condescension gave way to genuine respect as they realized that true advancement wasn't always about technological sophistication. The humans' primitive survival kit, which they had once mocked, proved to be a masterpiece of practical engineering, each item carefully chosen for maximum utility and reliability. As the extraction point drew nearer, both teams worked together to overcome the planet's challenges. The aliens contributed their theoretical knowledge while the humans provided practical application, creating a partnership that neither side had anticipated. Director Zen's final observation before the extraction day noted, "Perhaps the most advanced civilization isn't the one with the most sophisticated technology, but the one that can thrive in any circumstance with whatever tools are available." The lesson was clear. Survival depended more on adaptability practical wisdom, and cooperation than on technological advancement alone. The joint team reached the extraction point on the final day, but the Stellar Intellect's crew hardly recognized their returning colleagues. The once proud alien team moved with new humility, their crystalline forms reflecting newfound wisdom. Director Zinn assembled the Galactic Science Council for his final report. His presentation began not with data or analysis, but with a simple match, which he struck perfectly on his first try. Honorable Council, he addressed the shimmering holograms, we set out to prove the superiority of advanced technology. Instead, we learned its limitations. The human survival kit, which we mocked as primitive, represents millennia of refined practical wisdom. The council chambers buzzed with surprised murmurs as Zinn continued, describing how the humans had turned simple tools into survival advantages. He explained how Sarah's team had taught them to think beyond theoretical knowledge, to adapt and improvise with whatever resources were available. Our greatest oversight, Zinn concluded, was assuming that advancement only moves in one direction, toward complexity. The humans showed us that true sophistication often lies in simplicity, and real progress comes from understanding when to use which approach. The Council's decision was unprecedented. They established the first-ever Joint Survival Academy, where humans would teach practical survival skills to alien species while gaining knowledge of advanced theoretical concepts in return. Sarah Cooper became the Academy's first human instructor. Her first lesson always began the same way, by emptying a basic survival kit onto a table before a class of bewildered alien students. This isn't just a collection of primitive tools, she would explain, holding up a simple match. This is the distilled wisdom of countless generations who learned to survive against impossible odds. Sometimes the simplest solution is the most elegant. The Stellar Intellect's Project Primitive had evolved into something far more significant than a simple survival test. It became a bridge between civilizations, proving that true advancement came not from technological superiority, but from the wisdom to know when technology wasn't the answer. In the ship's final log entry, Director Zinn wrote, "The humans didn't just survive our test. They taught us to survive better. Their primitive methods showed us that the mark of an advanced civilization isn't its technology, but its ability to adapt and thrive under any circumstances. Perhaps we were the primitive ones, too reliant on our advanced systems to see the elegant simplicity of basic survival skills." The emergency survival kit that had once prompted mockery now held a place of honor in the Galactic Museum of Innovation, a testament to humanity's unique contribution to the interstellar community. The art of elegant simplicity in survival.